Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SOCIALpreneur podcast. This is episode number 5. I'm holding up 2 hands. Episode number 5. I am excited. We had some great guests, but I'm really excited about this guest, Dr. Ashley Anderson. I will have her introduce herself in a second, but hopefully you all followed along on the other 4 episodes of the SOCIALpreneur podcast. And I'm always asking for recommendations of people that you want to see. I'm really looking for women entrepreneurs. I'm trying to make the influencer scene more diverse. So that's like one of my passions. So if you all have anybody that is in that social realm and that social scene, definitely send them my way. You can email me at Allie, ALLI, at Absolutely Allie. Or you can just leave me a message on Instagram or Facebook or whatever under Absolutely Social or Absolutely Allie. But I'm so excited to have Dr. Ashley Anderson here. I'm going to have her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her. And then we're going to talk about her being a new influencer and what she's learned and things that she can help you all with and everything else. So, Ashley, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Super glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I guess I would say I'm a jack of all trades. I have a central passion that is surrounding women and female empowerment, and that just manifests in a few different ways. So I would say real job is that I'm a PhD prepared nurse. I'm a women's health nurse practitioner, and I own a practice here in Louisville called Athena Health and Wellness, where we take care of girls from age 11 up to, women at the end of life. And that is, I would say, was my first child. I think it was 5 years old. And that is just something that I love. I really love empowering women with information about how to manage and navigate the healthcare scene. So that is something that is really important to me. I competed in pageants. Most of my adult life, I started late. I was actually 19 when I started competing, and I got involved in the Miss America program looking for scholarship money for college. I played basketball my whole life, so I have this competitive nature anyway. So the pageants really fit right in there. Competed for a long time and then got involved as a volunteer. At this point, I sit as the president of the Miss Kentucky Scholarship Organization. So basically my job is managing the program and ensuring that we make enough money to award hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships every year. So that is definitely my passion work that I love. I also have an essential oil business through doTERRA, which is another one of my passions, but it goes hand in hand with the healthcare piece and just, looking at health through a different lens and naturally healing our bodies is something that I really am passionate about.
And what I can say about Ashley and her oils, she knows her oils. I texted her the other day about something and she immediately texted me back with what could help and it worked. So
yeah,
definitely.
I'm so happy. I didn't even get to follow up with you. So I'm really happy that it worked. Also I guess I should have probably started with this. I am a wife and mom of 2 little boys, Atlas and Ace. Those are my little buddies. They are crazy and they literally have turned my life upside down, but I love every moment.
And then what I think you are amazing. Like you are definitely a jack of all trades. You have your hands in everything, not only your career, your husband's career. And I'm going to already predict it out there, your kids' career, because I know they're going to do something big to have a mom and dad like you all, like they do. You and I met a while ago, I think at a Glow meeting or something like that, or with Yamelka or something. And then you were doing the essential oils and you were practicing your nurse practitioner, and you hadn't jumped right into the influencer business yet, but then you reached out to me maybe a year ago or so. We'll say a year.
Yeah, so I think, we actually met. So I have been following you on social media because I just had a little girl crush and I thought that you're amazing.
Oh,
And
thank you.
we met at Glow, and then I think you posted something about a workshop or something that you were doing, but I wasn't able to make it. So we met like one-on-one and did some talking before. I think that was before Ace was conceived, or maybe I don't know. It was a while ago. And then I was kind of overwhelmed with life and all the things. And then came back around not long after COVID started. So probably March. Oh, yeah.
Right. So I know I've said this on my other podcast, maybe the first one I talked about. So I have a business where I'm helping people build their social media and their brand through obviously social media, Instagram, Facebook, and stuff. So Ashley reached out to me because she already had a platform herself, being in the pageant industry and having a business herself. So she already had this huge platform of people that were following her and looking to her for advice about many things. So you wanted to use that to be the influencer that you are today and build that brand and that business in order to make being an influencer and a blogger a business. So when did you feel like that kind of turned in your life that you wanted to do the blogger influencer thing? That point.
You know, let me say, back in 2010, I had a blog as Miss Black Ohio. So prior to us competing at Miss Black USA, they wanted all of the contestants to have their own blog to have basically a place to, sequence what was going on in their year. And, people could follow them leading up to the pageant. Well, I really loved it. I've always loved writing. It's always been like one of my pocket future aspirations to be like a best-selling author. And I just loved it. But as I went back to school, I think I actually had finished my master's and I started working on a PhD. It was just a time thing. And so kind of my heart, I always felt that I'd get back to writing in that capacity. But I just didn't know when. And it was always a matter, I don't have time. And then I would sometimes start posting stuff like consistently on my social media. And then I would just say, well, the hell with this. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I think I'm doing this right. I don't know. So I feel like I really didn't have any direction. So it's always kind of been in my heart. And then I think once things closed down with COVID in March and my business was closed for 7 weeks, I really had the opportunity to reevaluate a lot of things and say, what can I do as, to still pour into the world, even though we can't physically be connected to each other? And can I get back to that writing piece? And then the social influencing side, I think, kind of came naturally with that. So I would say that it's always been there, but in March, I was just like, it's time.
It's time. It definitely is time. And she has taken this and grown it thus far from March to it's January now of the next year. Because I've seen your growth. What do you feel like that now that you didn't know before that you could probably, give some advice to somebody that's jumping in?
Oh, how much time do we have?
Okay, pick 2 or 3 things.
You have taught me so much. Like, I literally sing your praises anytime someone is like, your blog. And I'm like, but Allie.
Oh, thank you.
But I mean, seriously, I think that one of the main things that I've gleaned from our working together is consistency, which I think was a big problem for me before. It was like, I think maybe because I played sports, I like to have someone holding me accountable. I'm used to that type of pressure. So I think, having the fact that we meet every week and I have my like homework list and I'm like, okay, I need to stay on top of it. But I think that before, when I was doing it, I would be consistent for like a few weeks maybe, and then I would fall off, and then I would come back and then I'd fall off. So I think that the consistency because now it's been 8 months, and my following has grown a ton. And then my blog views, I looked at it maybe a month ago and was like 11,000 views since the end of April. And I was like, what? Who's reading my blog? I'm so happy. But I think consistency would be the number one, is just stay with it and keep doing it. I think being authentic is definitely maybe before that, because, you know, people, there's so much fakeness on social media. I think that especially during this time that we're living in, people are looking for authenticity. People want to get to know you and feel like they know you. They want to feel inspired. They want to feel like they can like touch and agree and relate with you. So I think finding what it is that you want to share with the world and being true to that, I think is really, really important.
And I think you do a great job at that. You put out there, like, it's on social media is how you are in person. Put it that way, if that's a good way to say it. It's not like I look at your social media and be like, no, that's not Ashley. It's
Exactly.
definitely you. It's definitely you. And I love that about you.
Thanks.
What things are you surprised at, good or bad, about this influencer, blogger, social media world?
I was surprised. I'm still surprised that people make money. Like, I didn't know that was a thing until now. And then, you know, like, just did my second paid thing today, post on social media. So I'm like, this is a thing. Like, I could totally do that.
Thing.
Yeah. So I think that was probably the biggest shock to me. It was like, hold on, now I can actually make money off of posting things on social media, like creating content that I love to create anyway. Like, that was a huge eye opener. I think another thing that surprised me is just you just don't ever know who's watching. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've literally had patients in the last month even that came to me, and as I'm like talking to them in their visit, it was like, oh, I followed you on social media and I read all your blogs, and that's the reason why I became a patient here. And I was like, whoa, because you know, social media, you can kind of see who's following you, and people that interact with you and like your pictures and stuff. But with a blog, there's not, you know, there's no like eyeballs that says, oh, this person, this many people are the people that read your blog. So I think just knowing that you don't truly know the reach of what you're doing, and how you're impacting people, which is a beautiful thing, but also it can be kind of scary at the same time.
It is. Just wait till you're randomly in a store and somebody says something to you or comes up to you and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm used to people doing that with Derek, not me.
Right.
They're like, yeah, girl, that's him. I'll take a picture. I'm like, chill one on the side.
Yeah, but just wait. And then people start to reach out to you, just like your followers, in a good way, to ask you questions, especially probably about essential oils and stuff, because they know that you do that. You'll start getting DMs or PMs, whatever you call them, just about asking you, well, what do I use for this and blah, blah, blah. And then that's when you really know that you're either helping somebody or that people are really, really watching, and it makes you feel good inside that what you're doing is not just for fun. It's actually helping people. So, so as a blogger and as an influencer, what is your favorite thing? Just ask.
Well, gosh, that's hard, because I love taking pictures. So that probably goes back. I modeled a lot when I guess I would say from like the age of 14 till probably when I had my kids. Like, I was really big in modeling, and I did top model of the world. I won most photogenic. So like pictures was like my thing. Right. And I think after having kids and then just not being in the industry anymore in that capacity, I just don't have a whole lot of reasons to get dressed up and pose and stuff. So taking pictures in fashion is one of my favorite things. That is really tied with penning, just writing. I love to write, and I'm super old school. Like, I write on paper and then type it up.
She does. She likes her list. She likes everything. I can attest to that.
Yeah, I literally have your list in the front of my binder, so I see it every day. I'm like, am I gonna get in trouble this week because I didn't do my stuff? So
what's your goals for either your influencing blogging business, essential oil business, or even your nurse practitioner business? What are we going to see from Ashley this year?
Ooh, gosh, I have a list. It's I actually
she does.
I do
Really good.
have a list, which is, me, it's not shocking at all, but I actually am currently writing a piece for my blog this week about dreaming bigger. And I think just inspired by the I Have a Dream speech, because this is MLK week or whatever, I just started asking myself, are you dreaming big enough? So something that I wrote that I really believe in my heart is that you should dream in obscene ways, and like it should be so large that it should be scary, and it should be so large that that the only way you achieved it is because you worked your butt off and God showed favor, both together. So I would say my biggest dream for this, that is the big one,
Right. And you've been talking about that for a while, like even before we not sign a book deal, but writing a book.
Yeah.
Before we even knew each other. So you told me that. So she's already got stuff on paper. I know it's there. We're just going to get it out there for her. All right. So what would you tell someone that doesn't even have a blog that looks at influencers and thinks that they can't do that? What would you tell them, or how would you tell them to start? I know you said consistency is one.
I would say call Allie first.
Oh.
Send her an email and say, help me. That's kind of what I did. But I think besides that, because I think it's very important to have the direction. You could be posting things that you think look good and feel good, but if you really don't have direction into like, what are you moving toward? Like we talk about, okay, we're going to do some workshops. We're going to add in an ebook. We're going to add in some merchandise. It's like, if you don't really have structure around what you're doing, you're just spending time on social media without really any return on that investment. So, excuse me, I'd say reach out to Allie, read her book, number 1 and 2. And then I would also say to just do some self-assessment about what it is that you stand for, what it is that you want your page to get across to the world. Because no matter what your story is, no matter what you've been through and what season of life you're in, there are other people experiencing that too and really need to hear your voice. So I think starting with the why you're doing it and what it is that you want to portray, I think that is a really good place to start.
That's so good. I love it. And I know myself personally, sometimes I can be all over the place and I have to hone it back in and say, what can I do now? What can I do first? What can I push to later? Because I have all these ideas that I want to do and I want to get them out there. I'm like, I need to do it now.
Yeah.
And if you're pushing a bunch of content and a bunch of product out there, you're not going to do it 100% if you're trying to do it all at one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So Miss,
I probably also slide in there, block your time to produce content. And that's something I think that's been really helpful for me, because otherwise I would get into that cycle of what I used to do, where it's like, I'm doing it, and then I stop because I'm like, I'm so busy right now. But like, the apps that you've introduced me to, and then also like this morning, my they're both toddlers now, but Atlas, who's 3, was like, he crawled in the bed with me and I could not like get out and get my computer to like get moving this morning. So I'm like, well, I need to write some blogs. So I wrote 2.5 blog posts this morning on my cell phone because I was trapped there. But I think, being mindful about, being prepared and writing your content in advance, I think that really helps. And
I agree with you about planning stuff out, blocking out time for you to do things. Everybody has a lot of things going on, but if you actually block out, even if it's just 1 day a week, then you can probably get some content done, even if it's 2 or 3 hours. Definitely block out that time for you, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur. If you want to create things, you have to be able to do it.
Yeah, because I think even as an entrepreneur, like, it doesn't stop. And I think that's where we kind of get sucked into this whirlwind. It's like, I need to get stuff done for this. I need to get stuff done for that. And then ask for help.
Right. Okay, Miss Ashley. I definitely feel like with you, you're an entrepreneur. you have your hands at all these pots, and they're good pots. Where can everybody find you?
So I'd love you to follow me on Instagram. It's at Dr. Ashley D. Anderson. And my blog is nope, it's not that. My blog is ashleydanderson.com.
So. Right. And then essential oils, if you want to, they can find that through your blog, or they can find that through your social media?
Yeah, my blog or social media, you can find a lot about essential oils. I post a lot of them on Pinterest. And so you can send me an inbox or email me through the website. I would be more than happy to help you learn about oils.
Definitely. So you heard it from her. She, like I said, she's an entrepreneur. She's a jack of all trades. You have questions about essential oils. You have questions about being a new influencer. Definitely Ashley's your girl to ask. And yes. So thank you, Ashley, for being on the Socialpreneur podcast. I'm excited to see what you have in store for 2021. I know some things. I'm smiling and laughing because I already know some things that she has down on that list that we are gonna make sure that she does. So stay tuned and watch out for Ashley and see what she comes up with. If you all have any questions for me or for Ashley, you can email me at Allie, A-L-I, at Absolutely Allie. Definitely make sure you hit the like button and share this podcast. And we will be back with our last episode of the season soon, number 6. See you all next time. Bye.